I get a lot of questions asking how I manage my storage in my 5-year hardcore world, so today I'm finally going to show you how I do that. Firstly, let me start by saying that I have mined and collected millions of blocks in this world, so I knew I needed a bunch of storage space to house all of those things. If you're planning big projects or you're wanting to build storage for your forever world, I'd suggest making way more space than you actually need, just to be safe. This was also completely done live in my hardcore world. There was no creative planning or any planning really beforehand. I just worked on it as I needed directly in the world. So instead of having one giant storage room like a lot of other people do, I found it worked better for me if I broke up some of the items into categories to make it easier to locate, and it gives me a reason to build a cute area for each of them. Having smaller individual areas also makes it a lot easier if there's ever a problem with the redstone. Not that I break it or anything, but it does sometimes randomly break once it crosses the chunk borders. Yes, it's facing the wrong way. Yay, okay, it works. First up, we have my stone storage. Stone and stone variants are something that every Minecraft player is going to have a bunch of, so here's how I did mine. Up the very top of my storage room, I have my stonemason villagers who actually trade stone. That way, if I needed to get rid of some, I have an easy way to do that. I also built this building a long time ago, and I definitely have plans to improve it in the future, but it does what I need for now. I wanted to make sure that I had a lot of space, so just stone alone has over 64 double chests, meaning just that can hold 221,000 pieces. These individual chests at the front are where I actually keep my grab and go boxes, which are shulkers that I fill with the item, as that is a quick way to take those and use them for building. This is manual, but I don't have a good shulker loader system yet or a shulker farm, but this is something that works for me. Speaking of all these crates, if you haven't heard of Snack Crate yet, then listen up. Snack Crate is a subscription box that delivers snacks from a different country every month right to your door. It includes exclusive snacks that you can't get unless you actually visit that country, giving you an easy, authentic snacking experience. So go check them out at snackcrate.com/Tanisha and make sure you use code Tanisha for 50% off your first order. Boxes are limited and run out fast, so make sure you go grab one so you don't miss out. And heading down this path, we have all of the other stone storage for all of the different variants like slabs, stairs, buttons, all that kind of thing. I didn't need a crazy amount of space for all of this stuff because mostly I just hold on to the bigger blocks, and this storage definitely provides more than enough space. And this is not all yet. I actually built this storage room before Deep Slate was in the game, so I wasn't able to incorporate it back then into the original design. So what I ended up doing was making a second level underneath which could hold all of that. So heading down here is where I keep my tuff, deep slate, and all of the variants. This might also be my favorite ceiling design that I've ever built. And all of this stone storage is connected via one auto sorter, and if we head out the front of the building, I made a small storage area, and that's where I actually deposit all of the blocks to be sorted. Now we move on to this building over here, which actually is my rainbow storage room, which houses all of my colorful blocks like dye, glass, wool, banners, terracotta, concrete, and more. This room is also home to every shepherd trade, and as you might notice, I do like to keep the related villages in these storage rooms to make it super easy to trade with them. Also, something I love doing is attaching my farms to my storage, that way whatever gets farmed goes directly into the storage. And this is attached right to my wool farm. Heading inside, the top level has my wool and carpet storage, then below has glass panes, and banners, and also a little banner making area as well, as I really do like decorating with banners in this world. And finally, on the last level, I keep all of the concrete powder, terracotta, and glazed terracotta. Again, this whole building is auto-sorted, and the drop chute is here on the side of the building. I left this open for now so I can easily fly in and out, but I will, of course, add more detail to it in the future. I put off making this building in general for a very, very long time, and it has had a couple of upgrades. So just this building alone has definitely come a long way, and it looks a ton better already. Next is my biggest storage room yet, and that is the one that houses every single wood type and a bunch of miscellaneous things too. It originally was going to just be my wood storage, but then it kept getting bigger and bigger, so let me show you it. On the top level of this Skyrim-inspired lumber mill, we have the deposit, as well as a mess of shulkers that I definitely need to clean. Most filled with stuff that doesn't stack or that I don't have a place for yet, so just ignore that. On the top level is my dark oak wood, and then underneath is spruce, which of course I spent extra time on decorating because it is the best wood type. And then underneath we have oak, and I recently redid this room to make it a little more welcoming. Next is birch and jungle, and then we get to the larger space. So I actually love how this area turned out. It has some of the newer wood types added to the game, like bamboo, mangrove, cherry, and pale oak. And then heading down, we have a huge collection of items like ocean-themed things, end-themed things, ancient city-themed things, job blocks, mob drops, and this was not the actual plan, but it ended up being easier to just expand it all the way down. Once you reach the ground level on level 12, I left some extra storage for some of the newer things like trial chamber keys, resin, and basically anything else that needed a spot. So as more items get added to the game, we should have space for those too. This storage area currently holds over 497 different items, all order-sorted, with heaps of room to expand. In the same cave system, I do have storage for all of my ores and redstone as well. I do think some of this will get moved because I do need to expand this area a little, as some items like coal and quartz are quickly overflowing. I definitely underestimated how much I was going to get whilst doing some mining projects. I really hope I'm not the only one that does this, but for some reason I like to hold on to every random piece of food I find. So of course I decided to build another building dedicated to food storage. I love this building because it is multifunctional. It connects directly into my pumpkin and melon farm, as well as the crop farm, which gives me bread, potatoes, carrots, and beetroot. Then up the very top I have my farmer villages, which is where I trade all the excess produce as well as buy golden carrots, as that is my main food source. And I theme this area to look like a little dining hall. Over the course of this world, I have completed some big nether projects, and I've mined over 4 million netherrack, so finding a place to keep all of these materials was vital. And I definitely don't see many people do this, but one of my biggest storage rooms is actually in the nether. This project specifically was where I transformed the nether into an ocean-themed oasis, and I have a whole separate video on that too if you want to check it out. But this main building has my wither skeleton farm in it, and also my large storage for nether-themed blocks. In here we have blackstone and all of the nether brick variants, as well as quartz and light things, and then as you head downstairs we have all of the warped and crimson variants. And all of this storage on the side is all for netherrack, and I do really love how clean this area looks, especially for it being in the nether. Now, is it a little impractical for me to fly to the nether every time I want to get quartz or blackstone? In a way, yes, but it also gives me the opportunity to see everything that I built. The journey is quite beautiful as it's completely built up and detailed. So many times players build things and then never actually visit them or have a reason to go there, so this is a huge part of why I built my storage areas in different places, so I have a reason to visit all of these builds that I spent so long on. And also getting to build up and decorate the spaces individually has been really fun. As the game continues to update and expand, so does my storage. I've recently been working on this brand new area specifically for copper storage, as there is over 100 variants and I did not have a place to put all that. Although I've already been working on this for a month, this building has been my most detailed interior yet, and I definitely experimented with colors and design here too. So literally building something as simple as storage is helping me to improve my building skills. Now that pretty much sums up all of my larger auto-sorted storage, but almost every single farm also has a large storage system as well. So for example, my skeleton farm, if you head all the way down underneath, all of the drops are auto-sorted and have a nice collection area too. And I do this with basically all of the farms that give me multiple items. So I hope this gave you a fresh perspective on storage rooms, as I know me making different ones is definitely not the norm in Minecraft. Most of the time players just have one huge storage room or don't really have a big auto storage at all, which is totally fine. You can build it however you want, but this one is definitely easier for me to know exactly where things are, and not just for functionality purposes, but I really like being able to theme and decorate each space. If you want to see more of my hardcore world, I do have a ton of tours on my channel, so definitely make sure you go check those out. And I'd love to know how you organize your storage as well. Thank you so much for watching, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.